All right, here we are, Predator. I know I promised you guys I would review I would review and post my reviews, my thoughts on of the Predator films. And here we are now. It might so I'm thinking maybe this week, maybe the next few couple days, I'm gonna be taking some time and just um talking about the all the Predator movies. So let's start from the beginning, as we should, with the original 1987 Predator film. And this movie is directed by John McTiernan, and it stars the one and only Arnold Schwarzenegger, along with Carl Weathers, rest in peace. But anyway, yeah, like this movie is the thing about the Predator movies, it's not really a horror movie. I mean, I don't want to say. I mean, there are some horrifying moments and imagery in this movie, but it's not like 100%. They don't. It's not full out like horror. Like like there's no jump scares or anything like that. And if there are, thank God there's no like stupid like sound effect to accompany with the dumb jump scare. It's more of a sci-fi. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I see the Predator movies as more of a sci-fi action, you know, action films. This whole series. But until Prey came along, and then that was like, I mean, there were some horror elements in that. I mean, it's really more suspense than straight up horror. But anyway, it stars Arnold Schwarzenegger as Dutch Schaefer, the leader of an elite paramilitary rescue team on a mission to save hostages in a Central American rainforest, who encounters a deadly predator played by Kevin Peter Hall, a skilled and technologically advanced extraterrestrial who stalks and hunts his team down. But anyway, yeah. But anyway, this movie, like I said, not only does it start, Arnold Schwarzenegger, but it also stars Bill Duke, Jesse Ventura, and Shane Black. And Shane Black himself would go out and actually direct one of the Predator movies that he's been a part of. And we all know how that movie turned out to be. But anyway, yeah, like Predator was written in 1984 with a working title of Hunter. And it had a budget of around $15 million. 20th Century Fox released the film on June 12th, 1987, and it grossed $98 million worldwide. Back then, back in 87, when it just came out, initial reviews for the film were mixed. People were divided. Some people were like, I like this movie. Some people were like, I don't know, it's not my cup of tea. But the film, has since been considered a classic of action and sci-fi genres, and one of the best films of the 1980s. The 1980s was really the era of like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. The 80s was like it was like the era of Schwarzenegger, and he's been pumping out so many like movies in that time frame. But yeah, I would say that I'm going to break this movie down with the positives, and if I have any issues, I'll address them. So let's talk about the positives. All right, let's dive in, and let's not waste another minute. I like how this movie established, John McTiernan's Hollywood career. The director of this movie, he would go on to direct Die Hard and its second sequel, Die Hard with a Vengeance, and The Hunt for Red October, among others, of course. And this film has a really nice bait and switch. The movie starts out at, oh, by the way, yeah, obviously there will be spoilers, so no shit. So you've been warned. I mean, you had like, this movie came out in 1987, it's the end of 2025, so you had like years and decades to watch like just like an hour, like maybe like a 2 hour ish movie, so you know, you've been warned. So you know, it has a nice bait and switch. The movie starts out as your typical 1980s action movie. You know, you get introduced to all these characters, you know, who are about to go out into the jungle, and who knows what they'll discover. And of course, you know, like I said from the synopsis, it's the Predator hunting Arnold Schwarzenegger's team down one by one. Um, you know, before turning into a suspense film, before a suspense film, once the Predator makes his presence known to both the protagonists and the audience, there are some, there are some incredibly memorable and quotable dialogue from many of the actors, especially Arnold Schwarzenegger. Get to the chopper. I mean, that's like one of them. Like, that's like a state. That's like one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's most iconic, memorable quote. For so long, I won't lie. You know, for so long, I was wondering to myself, you know, where, you know, people have been quoting, you know, that, you know, get to the chopper, and I'm like, where did that quote originate? I never know the origin, and now I know the origin. It's from this movie. I remember like the very first time I watched the Predator, this film, the Predator, you know, Predator, and when he said that iconic line, I was like, what? That quote is from this movie. I was mind blown. The same thing with Aliens. It's game over, man. Game over. Like I was really it was very surprising. There are some great creature effects. A nice soundtrack by Alan Silvestri, who I didn't even know composed the music for this. Alan, I'm pretty sure it's the one and only Alan who composed the theme for the Avengers, movies. There are some surprisingly nice performances given by the actors, and the Predator went on to become an iconic film, you know, antagonistic-ish character, even though I don't really view him as much as an antagonistic, but sure, whatever. Along with other 20th Century Fox monsters like the Xenomorph from the Alien movies, the action scenes in this film are very excellent and well done, and there are some good cinematography for its time. But yeah, I really can't. I really there I have no issues. There's no problem that I have with this movie. It's incredible. It's great. I did look it up, and I do know that there have been some complaints. Apparently, I'll talk about it. So apparently, the Ultimate Hunter Edition Blu-ray version of this film has been criticized by some people for relying too much on digital noise reduction to the point that the footage looks terrible. Notably, you know, Dutch ends up looking like a wax figure in one shot. So just want to give you guys a heads up. I mean, maybe you guys, if you have the Ultimate Hunter Edition Blu-ray, you might have noticed that shot where he looks like a wax figure. I did not. I bought this movie on Amazon. And I own it now. You know, I own it forever for the rest of my life. It's in my library on my Amazon Prime account, and you know, it's great. It's great. Like I would watch it. I would watch it, and it's exceptional. You know. It's one of the greatest. This movie, Predator, is one of the greatest science fiction action films of all time. Often imitated but never properly duplicated, not even by its own sequel. It really is, really awesome. and the most submersive action movie in the 1980s. Um, it may be, a big macho action movie with all these, swollen, jacked up, actors like Carl Weathers and Arnold Schwarzenegger, but it's, I do like the kinds of characters this movie has, that you don't really find in a lot of, big macho action movies, but yeah, like I said, get to the chopper. That quote, that line is so iconic and memorable when it comes to associating with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think, you know, the this movie would spawn this whole entire franchise. The Predator would later make an appearance in Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands in a bonus mission called The Hunt. And back in 2021, the Predator was featured in the video game Fortnite, which I played this year, not back in 2021, as a cosmetic outfit for the character and a hidden enemy in the game. The first of which gave players the associated abilities such as invisibility and the iconic Predator shoulder cannon. I do think, if I'm not mistaken, the Predator is a DLC character for Mortal Kombat. So I think there's that. And of course, the film includes the iconic Dutch Dylan handshake between Dutch Schwarzenegger and Dylan Carl Weathers that became a viral meme when the two of them, like, their handshake, and it's like they're flexing, their muscles are flexing, both of them. It's so iconic and became such a viral meme for toughness and when two individuals are slapping opposite hands palm to palm, similar to like arm wrestling positions. It's very manly. It's very manly, and it can be a display of physical dominance. And sometimes it's performed after competitions, for instance, during professional wrestling or tennis. First becoming a meme when people began creating their own versions of the Dutch Dylan handshake. But yeah. And now here we are. Like, this one movie created this whole franchise. And yeah. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have to say for Predator. Such an iconic sci-fi action movie. I don't consider it a horror movie, but whatever. I guess for some people, you guys can call it a horror movie. I don't really view it as much as a horror, like a straight up horror movie. Maybe some parts, but not the whole entire, like, start to finish. I hope you can see where I'm going with. But anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time to listen to my review on Predator. Please like and subscribe. Definitely subscribe, because that would help me and my YouTube channel out a lot. I'm thankful for all of you. I appreciate your support, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.